Hey guys, this is pickup video number 2. I got quite a few things this last week, so I'll just get started and go through what I've got. First, picked up Mario Golf for the 64, and I picked it up for a very good price, just $5 shipped on eBay. You can't beat that. Second, I was over at my grandmother's last week doing some work for her, and I found what I believe is the 4th or 5th Atari that I found in her barn. There's a huge amount of electronics that my grandpa collected before he passed away, and I've been finding lots of Ataris and Commodore 64s ever since. I really don't know how many are still in there. There could be quite a few, so... But, picked up another one. Earlier this week I went to a game store and I picked up a couple Genesis games for $1 a piece. College Football National Championship 2. I only picked this up because it had the not for resale sticker, otherwise I couldn't care less about a Genesis sports game. Another Genesis game just for $1. Midnight Resistance, I've never heard of it. I grabbed an Atari game there for just $1. And this one I just picked up because it was complete in box and had all the inserts, but it's just a soccer game, and it was $1 as well, so. And while I was there, I noticed a couple 32X games. Now, I don't have any 32X games in my collection, so they were $250. I bought them anyway, even though I don't know much about the 32X. Just because I wanted some for my collection, and they're pretty cheap, so. Also, this last weekend, I went garage sailing. At one garage sale, I picked up 6 Xbox games for $5, which I thought was a pretty good deal. Dance Dance Revolution, Ultra Mix, NCAA College Basketball 2K3, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 06, NFL Fever 2003, Forza, Motorsport, Need for Speed Underground 2. So, sports titles and a DDR game. I don't have too many Xbox games in my collection, so... At another separate garage sale, I found 2 more Xbox games, and they were $2 a piece, and I picked them up. I probably shouldn't have spent $2 on a sports game, but this other one looks like it could be decent. What I went to was a citywide yard sale where a whole bunch of people in the city have yard sales. And I usually do pretty well at this one. Last year when I went out there, I got a Dreamcast with games, a Sega Saturn with games and the light gun, and a GameCube with a lot of games last year, including the not for resale Mario or Zelda combo pack game and Luigi's Mansion and quite a few other games last year. This year I was hoping to do well, but really mostly what I got was just Xbox games and some really generic cheap PS2 games. Had a different garage sale out there. I got some games for $0.25. Tekken 3 for the PS1 for $0.25. I actually already had this, but I mean $0.25, and it's a Tekken game. This was $0.25. I saw this game and I opened it up and there was no game in it. And it was also marked $0.25, but it did have a memory card, so I'll certainly take a memory card for 25 cents. So I picked that up. I found this in a box at the garage sale, and the lady had 10 cents on it, and I actually only had 20s on me at the time because it was the first stop we made. And I told her I was going to go to my car and get a dime out, and she said, "Don't worry about it, you can have it." So I got Ape Escape for free. It's missing the front cover and the insert, but it's free. And then at another sale, I picked up 4 generic sports games for $1 a piece. Boxing game, NBA game, NFL, Madden 06, and MLB The Show. I kind of like this one. I really like the cover. I don't know why. I really like collecting Ryan Howard stuff. He's one of the people who I'm speculating on. I've bought a lot of his cards, so hopefully he ends up being type of player I think he's gonna be. The last stop I made on my garage sale trip was there was a game store I hadn't seen before there in Wellington, which is the city I was doing my garage sailing in, and it was actually attached to a tobacco and incense store, and there was an opening in between. So on one side it was video games, on one side it was all this different smoke stuff, which actually turned out to be terrible. I realized this after I bought this bag of games. Everything smells like incense and tobacco. I mean, the smell is really strong in these games. And I haven't put them with the rest of my Atari collection, these games I bought there, because they all smell. And I really don't want my other games to soak it up, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these right now, but they had a large collection of Atari games for $1 a piece, so I bought a bunch. Armor Battle, Target Fun, Porky's, Venture, Pole Position 2, Spider Fighter. Here's a 7800 game, Food Fight. Kaboom. Dragonfire. Super Breakout. Moon Patrol. Hero. And another 7800 game, Baseball. So that ended up being my garage sailing trip, which was honestly pretty disappointing compared to how well I've done at that particular citywide yard sale the last 2 years. Pretty much Xbox and PS2 is all I could find. Not a single anything Nintendo. No controller, no nothing. Any system from Nintendo. Nothing. But anyway. Now, today I went to the CCAG, which is a yearly gaming show. It's a classic console arcade gaming show, Cleveland. And last year I did pretty well. I picked up a lot of commons there, because they have vendors. It's basically like a show. And they also have tournaments and raffles. This year it was basically terrible. All the commons were massively overpriced, or at least to a price that I would never pay for them. There was almost no rare or medium rare games to even find. I mean, nothing in that 20 to 30, 40, $50 range. Sometimes I'll buy those. Nothing in that range, that type of rarity, Nintendo-wise, because mostly I was looking for NES and N64 games. But I went through every vendor there, and I only found a single Nintendo game that I needed from my list. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, if that's good or if that's sad, but I ended up picking up Shooting Range, which is one of the NES games I still needed, and that was it for the NES. That's all I could find. I was very disappointed, and the N64 as well. Everything there, like the minimum price for N64 games was like $5, and that included a lot of sports games. And also, I did pick up another pair of 32X games for Sega. So the 32X library is apparently only 38 games or something along those lines. So that actually wouldn't be too difficult of a set to put together. I think it's got a couple of rare games, Spider-Man or something like that. I don't know, I haven't really looked into it, but anyway. Also, for $2 I saw a Virtual Boy game, Mario Tennis, which I believe was the pack-in game for some of the consoles. I'm not sure on that, but I'm pretty sure. It's got Blockbuster sticker on it, but I can take that right off, and this will look new, so at least I can say I have a Virtual Boy game now. So it was only $2. And also, there was a box of $1 games one person had, and I found some Odyssey 2 games in there, and I don't have an Odyssey 2, and I don't have any Odyssey 2 games, so much like the 32X, I decided, hey, I'll get some of those just to have them. So these were all $1. You can see all these Odyssey games look pretty similar. 3 of them are sports, one's billiards, one's alpine skiing, One's hockey/soccer, and the other is Casey Munchkin. It's got a bunch of furry dudes on it. I thought it was pretty neat. I was thinking it's kind of a weird cartridge. I thought it was pretty neat to have some Odyssey 2 games. I'd really like to get an Odyssey system. I think it'd be really cool to have one of the first systems like that. So, also, I saw that there's one of the vendors had SoreQuest, the Earth World and Flame World or Fire World or whichever it is, I forget offhand. And I knew I had one of them, but I couldn't remember which one. I was pretty sure it was Fire World that I had. So I picked up Earth World. And of course I got home and I had 2 Earth Worlds and no Fire World, so it was $1, so I guess I'll just toss it back in the 2600 pile I've already got going, so. But apparently it's Fire World that I needed. And that's it for my pickups. While I was at that gaming show, me and my friend Adam have been practicing for the last month or so NBA Jam on the Genesis because they're going to have an NBA Jam tournament there. So I went back into the game room to sign up, and there was no one there. There was a couple people playing the games, but there's no person there telling you anything. There was nothing that said anything. And then an announcement came over that they were going to do the raffle, and that after the raffle would be the NBA Jam tournament. So I went out to the raffle and looked at my tickets. I didn't win, and I came back in, and the guy was announcing what stations people would play the NBA Jam games at. So I went up and told him I wanted to register, and he said we couldn't. And he said that he had already done the bracket at the tournament that we couldn't enter. So I got really pissed off, and I left. I didn't do any more shopping. I just got out of there. I don't know. It just really made me mad. The guy was pretty curt about it, so. Anyway, these were my pickups for the week, and also last week, so. That's it. Also, I wore the River City Ransom shirt today for my second video. I only have one more Nintendo related shirt, and actually it's a small, so I can't fit into it, so I won't be wearing it. But I wore this to the video game show today. Last year a lot of people commented on it when they saw it, so this year not as much, but I wasn't there nearly as long this year. Kind of left angry, so. I stopped at that GameStop on the way home as well, but they didn't have anything. But anyway, that was it for this week.